friends, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Zita, and on my channel I do DIYs and makeovers on a budget. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest at OakWell Home. So let's get started on today's DIYs and see what I've created. Today, friends, I have a bunch of Easter DIYs for you. So to start here, I have this piece of scrap wood that I had laying around. So I thought I'd make use out of it and make an Easter sign. So I'm taking out my IOD mold here. I'm just going to put a clay mold on just on the bottom. And this clay is from the Dollar Tree, so if you haven't tried Dollar Tree clay, give it a try. It gets kind of hard compared to the paper clay I've used, but just make sure you double wrap it and put it in a Ziploc bag to keep it moist. You could even put a damp paper towel in there as well, which I need to try as well. So I'm putting some cornstarch in my mold here, and this is the frames mold. So I'm just putting as much clay in that I need for the bottom of that wood piece, and once I think I have the right length, I'm just going to pull that out and attach it to my scrap piece of wood with some glue. Once I have that laid down, any excess I just cut off with my little artist knife there. I think that's what you call it. And after everything is attached, I give it a couple of coats of my homemade white chalk paint. And if you haven't made homemade white chalk paint or homemade chalk paint before, check in my description box and you'll find a video for that. And it's a lot cheaper than buying the store-bought chalk paint. So I did give that a quick dry with my heat gun, and now I'm going to apply some IOD stamps. And these are the farm animal stamps. And as you can see, they're new. I'm having to pull off that top sheet, and you're going to want to give your stamps a light sanding with a light sanding block when they're new, just so your ink has some tooth to grab onto. So once the homemade chalk paint was dry, I gave that a light sanding and then wiped away all the dust before I applied my stamp. So there's what it's called, it's the farm animals. So I'm pulling off the rabbit. Because it's Easter, I'm going to use that rabbit, and I'm going to apply a black ink, and he doesn't fit all the way across on the bottom, but that's okay. He's still going to look really nice. And then I'm going to stamp some words on the top of that little wood piece once I have my rabbit on there. And this turns out so beautiful. watch how detailed this stamp is. And sorry for my head of hair there in the way, but you'll see here now once I get that applied, how beautiful that is. So hold it with one hand and just press down with the other. Now I did try my little brayer there, but sometimes I don't like that. I find that it squishes a stamp and kind of slides it around. So I'd rather use my hands. Maybe if it was a bigger piece, it would work better. But see the detail in that stamp, isn't it gorgeous? Now you're going to want to wipe your ink off your stamp. Try to do it right away because it's harder to come off if you don't do it right away. I keep a wet cloth on my craft desk so I can wipe them down right away. So now I'm starting with the letterpress stamps. I'm going to write Happy Easter on it. Seems fitting for that rabbit that's on there. Now, as you can see on the top there, I did start it with some different style of letters, but I went with this, like the skinny style of letter. And as you can see there, I put a green ink on there first, which is not what I wanted to do. I had my ink pads upside down, so I thought I put the black back on top, but I didn't, and I didn't look at the color as I was putting it on there. So that's a mistake I made, and I probably won't make that in the future. I make a lot of crafting mistakes, and I learn from them all. So if you make mistakes, don't feel bad because I make lots of them, and I don't mind sharing them because that's just part of crafting. So don't beat yourself up. So once I wipe off the green there, apply the black, and as you can see, that Easter is really skinny lettering. So then I apply the happy on top, and because there's only one of each letter, I have to take off the P and fit the P in there between the P that's already there and the Y, and I just stamp that up and line it up. And again, I'm sorry for my head, but I got it lined up pretty good. So now I thought this sign needs something else. So I took out my vintage textured stamps, again by IOD, and these stamps are awesome to have, and because they're so useful for so many projects. And I'm using the Tiny Crackle one, so I'm just applying my black ink there. And I'm just going to apply it kind of all around the edges and kind of in little random spots all around, and this turns out so beautiful. It just gives it that little bit extra. And it was a little harder to apply around the bottom there where the clay mold was, but it worked out good. See how beautiful that is? And I think it just gives it that little extra. So now I'm applying a clear wax to the piece, and then I'm going to apply a black wax. And the reason I apply my clear wax first is just in case you apply too much black wax, it gives you room to erase some of the black wax. And I do wipe some of that black wax back and put it on that clay piece at the bottom, and that's really going to show the detail of that clay piece that I put on there. It's going to bring out all that detail. See how all that gets down in the nooks and crannies of the clay mold and brings out all the detail of the mold. So after that, I took out my antiquing wax, which is like a brown wax, and I also applied some of that. And I kind of dabbed it off before I applied it. And if there was any excess, I just wiped that back with my rag. And this turns out so beautiful. And then on the top, I will be adding some twine. And I'm making my own little roses here from some scrap fabric I had. This fabric is from an old blouse that I had. So this is some white cotton fabric, and I just this was like for wrapping around the blouse. So I just cut it off and Just kept wrapping it, twisting it, and gluing it, twisting it some more, and trying to make it look like a rose or some kind of flower. We'll see. You let me know in the comments how you think I did on this. This was my first time actually doing this with fabric, trying to make a flower. So what I did is kind of went around, twisted it, and then went around some more. Now I did only have one there first. Then I wrapped my twine. I thought it needed some more little flowers. So I did add 2 more fabric flowers. I think I used some drop cloth as well, and then a little bit more of the blouse. And once I had them all on there, as you can see I have 3 there, I took out my antiquing wax and just put it around the flowers just so they match the rest of the piece. So there's what it looked like before, just an old piece of scrap wood, and look at this beautiful Easter sign now. Let me know, friends, what you think of this one in the comments. For this next DIY, I have this mason jar that I've already put a Fusion Ultra Grip on. As you see, the translucent color on there. And then I'm going to mix up a turquoise blue and a white acrylic paint and apply it to there. But I did put about 3 coats on there, and it was still showing through. So I would probably spray paint it white first before applying my paint color. I think it would have gotten a more solid color quicker that way. So I did use a blue chalk paint that I had on hand that I forgot that I had, that I could probably have sprayed the bottle with in the first place. So now here I decoupaged a napkin to some cardstock, and I'm cutting out the rabbit image, and well, I'm going to cut out both rabbit images, and one I'm going to use as a tag on the mason jar, and the other one I'm going to cut out and use a circle and put inside the lid. I did have that flower there inside the lid first, but I thought I'm going to match it up and go with the bunny and put that inside, and that way the tag and the lid will kind of match up. And then I'm going to wrap some twine around the mason jar and add that tag. And I'm using my pinking shears here to go around the rabbit, just give it some added dimension. Then I'm going to use a hole punch to punch a hole in its ear and wrap it around the mason jar. I'm just going to fill it up with candy here because I'm going to give this as a gift to my neighbor's little girl as well as some other stuff in a caddy. And I'm going to seal my paint in here with some clear wax, and I forgot to do that before I put the candy in, so I took the candy out, gave the mason jar a clear coat of wax just to seal that paint in, and then added the tag. And here's what it looked like before, and here's what it looked like now. Isn't this adorable? So I'm going to put this in the caddy that I'm going to create, and I'm going to give a bunch of little Easter stuff to my neighbor's little girl. So what do you think of this one, friends? Quick and simple and easy. So the next DIY here is the caddy. So I had this laying around for quite some time. I found this at a thrift store, and as you can see, I painted it white first, changed my mind on the white. So I combined a bunch of different green colors here that I had on hand. And gave that a few coats of the green paint. And once I had that painted, I am going to turn this little box into a caddy. So I had some scrap pieces of wood on hand here, so I measured it out to the length that I want the height of the handle. So I think it was like 10 inches high or something like that. So I'm using my miter box and my saw here to cut this little piece of wood. And I'm gonna measure out another piece with my pencil there. And then use my nail gun to apply those pieces of wood to the side and then the handle on the top. So friends, before you use your nail gun, make sure you have the right size nails in there. So see that I had a bigger size in there first, as I'm going to show you here. So those were too big, so make sure you get the right size brad nails for your nail gun. And put your brad nails in your gun with the battery removed. Don't do it with the battery in there, because you could, you know, shoot one of those nails in yourself. So practice safety. I do have my safety glasses on here as well. So I put a couple of brad nails in there in each one, and that was fine. It held it really well. And now I'm going to put the wood piece at the top, and I already pre-measured that. And I'm going to give them a little sanding here with a fine sanding block first. Then I use a higher grit sandpaper to get it a little smoother. This scrap wood was a little rough on one side. So once I got that measured out, I used my nail gun again to put the nails in the top. So don't be afraid of power tools. You can use them, just make sure you respect them and practice safety. And that's all you need to do, and you can learn how to use them. And I was scared of them first too, but I got through my fear and used them. But I do practice safety, because you know, I am sometimes a little scared of them, but I still use them. But I, you know, very mindful of being safe when I'm using them. So now I'm applying another Easter napkin that I have here. I got these at the Dollar Tree, I believe. And a lot of the Dollar Tree napkins, just to let you know, a lot of them are 2-ply. And I do have some other napkins as well from Ninny Napkins, and those are 3-ply. So when you're applying your napkins and you're taking off your plies, you need to get all those plies off. So make sure that you know how many plies are on your napkin, because if you've been watching my videos for a while, you've seen me make a mistake and not use all the plies, because I remember once I was doing some smash cans and I thought I was using dollar store napkins that only had 2 plies, and I only removed 1 ply of the napkin, and it will start to bubble up if you do that. So make sure you get all your plies off there. So I put my Mod Podge down on the front there, and now I'm applying the little bunnies to the side. So I got this one, I believe, is from the Dollar Tree as well. These are my only 2 Easter napkins, so this is what I use. And I was going to put this one on the front, but with the faces and then this space in between the slats there, it didn't really work out. So I thought I'd put this on the side. So I'm start out in the center, and I do one side, lay that down, and then do the other side. And I smooth it out with, I found this plastic glove that I had. I think it was for hair dye. I think I had these for hair dye, so I just recently found them, so I started using that. But I do have this plastic shower cap that I got at the Dollar Tree as well, that you'll probably see me use later on here, that I really like because it's a really soft plastic. So it's one of those disposable shower caps, like the clear ones that looks like that gloves. So once all that was dry, I let it dry. I'm not sure if I let that dry for a few hours or overnight, but just make sure your Mod Podge is dry before you start sanding it down. And make sure you're going down, you know, not up and down on there, because you'll see here what I do there. See, I was getting impatient with my nail file there, and I was, instead of just going down on the napkin, so you're not, you know, don't go up and down with your nail file or your sanding block, because it could potentially rip the napkin. So once I have all the excess napkins sanded off, I'm applying my top coat of Mod Podge all over the napkin. And then I decided, okay, I don't like the white handle, because I did paint that white first, as you can see there. And then I decided to paint it this green. I made this homemade chalk paint recently, and I thought I'm going to paint it that color. So let me know if you think I should have painted that handle white or green, or if you would have just left it the white. So that's what it looks like. Isn't that adorable? So this is from just a little scrap box. So now I'm going to put my Excelsior in there. This is the only color I had on hand, so this is what I use. And I picked up a bunch of candy. I got my mason jar in there that I just created. This little Reese's that looks like a carrot. I got a little bunny rabbit. Some eggs that I spray painted. Some little yellow peeps, and I remember getting these from my aunt as a kid, and I just absolutely love them. And I just recently tried them again, and I'm not as excited about them as I was when I was a kid. I really like the look of them, but I don't like the taste of them like I did when I was a kid. But I remember I used to get so excited to get those from my aunt every year. Let me know what kind of memories you have from your childhood Easter. And so I did apply a white wax to it. So that's what it looked like before. And this is what it looks like now. So I'm going to wrap that up and give that to my neighbor's daughter. Let me know in the comments what you think of this one. For my next DIY, I have this plate here, and I have a bunch of these that I've had for a while in my cupboard. So you may have seen me create some Christmas plates at Christmas time as well. So this is the reverse decoupage method. So I'm cutting out the napkin here, the size that I need for the plate. And this plate has, you know, some texture on the bottom, so it probably would work out better if it had a smoother texture, but the ones I did for Christmas turned out really, really well. But there was a mess up with this one, and I'll give you my opinion on what I think happened so you don't do that. So I applied a little bit of Mod Podge on one end, and then I kind of took the napkin and pulled it back, applied the rest of my Mod Podge, and then pulled the napkin right across, and then used my little shower cap there. That's my little disposable shower cap from the Dollar Tree with the really soft plastic, and that works really well. So once that's applied, so that's what it looks like without, you know, with just a glue. So I let that dry, and then what you're going to do after it's dry, you have the excess napkin sanded off. I took this outside and gave it a coat of white spray paint, and as you can see the you know, you can see the eggs and stuff, the picture a lot more when you apply that white to the background. But what happened here is I left it outside after I spray painted the white on there. I left it outside and I think the glue got cold, so you know, you see some pieces in there that it doesn't look like it worked, but it still looks beautiful. But if you haven't seen those Christmas ones I made, go back and take a look at those. But this still turned out really beautiful, I think. So let me know what you think of this little project. I think I sped up that video a little too much there. So the next DIY, and I think this is the final one, I'm just going to decoupage some eggs here. These are from the Dollar Tree, and I couldn't find the pictures of what the eggs look like before because I've been having some issues with my computer while I was editing this, and I almost threw my computer out the window, friends. My computer was saying it was getting full, so I deleted some pictures off my computer, but they came off my external hard drive as well. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. So this is my second time editing this video, friends. So this is about 16 hours of editing. So please give my video a like and a comment and a share, and I don't know what else, but give it a like and a comment, and subscribe and click that notification bell, because I got 16 hours of editing on this video. So what I'm doing here with these eggs is just applying Mod Podge using some dollar store tissue paper. I'm using some magazine paper. What else did I use here? Isn't that a beautiful print? So there's another tissue paper that I got from the Dollar Tree. So yeah, I'm using a magazine too, just kind of ripping up some pages from a magazine, and then I'm just going to collect them all and put them in a beautiful bowl with some moss, and let me know what you think of these and all of these projects that I created today. Like I said, I got 16 hours of editing on this one. I had to re-edit it twice. So give me a like and a comment, please. For goodness sakes, give me a like and a comment on this one. So once again, please consider subscribing and click the notification bell. And I want to say thank you for being here. I really appreciate all of you that take the time out of your day to watch my video and watch all of my videos, and I just want to say thank you, and let me know in the comments which one of these was your favorite today. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.